Are you tired of feeling trapped by negative thoughts and anxiety? If so, it's time to embrace the gift of inner peace. In this video, I reveal practical strategies that you can use every day to break and change your thought patterns so you can achieve peace and live a more fulfilling life. The negative thought cycle is a pattern of thinking that starts with something that you're worried about and then leads you to anxiety, stress, or even a state of depression. It's easy to get stuck in the negative thought cycle because your brain makes connections between past experiences and then uses your imagination to predict what may or may not happen in the future. Let's say, for example, you went to dinner with friends and afterwards you worry about how it went, or if you said something that was inappropriate or even offensive to someone. Your brain makes a connection between this dinner and a previous event where you may have unintentionally offended someone. It then uses your imagination to create scenarios that are not real, to make you believe that you may have offended someone. Now, this can obviously lead to a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety, and this loop will continue to repeat itself to the next social event if not caught and if not dealt with. Now, this kind of thinking can be destructive because there's no way for anyone to predict exactly what will happen in the future, and it's impossible to know what people are thinking unless they tell you. So your imagination is making assumptions that are not based on reality, but more so based on your own insecurities. And those insecurities are then causing you more stress and more anxiety. This leads you to expect the worst from every encounter, so you're always on guard and preparing yourself for the worst case scenario. Now, as we all know too well, negative thoughts can have a huge impact on your life. They can lead you to no self-esteem. They can lead you to anxiety or even depression, which can then lead you to escapism in the forms of alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, even food abuse. If you're struggling with negative thoughts, it's important that you learn how to control them before they end up controlling you. The first step in breaking the cycle is actually understanding the cycle itself and understanding how your mind works when it comes to negative thoughts and negative thinking patterns. So a negative thought will come to your mind. You then begin to entertain that thought. As you continue to entertain thought, you end up down the rabbit hole of more negative thoughts, because one always leads to another, right? And as you continue down the rabbit hole of negative thoughts, you begin to add emotion to these negative thoughts. Now you've added emotion to these thoughts. This has now put you into a low or a negative vibration. And now you're operating from a negative or a low vibration. Every action you take whilst operating from this low vibration is also going to be negative, aka reaching for the bottle, the cigarettes, the vape pen, or the junk food. And this cycle will continue happening until you increase your levels of self-awareness and you begin to capture the initial thought. The second step is challenging the negative thought by asking yourself whether it's true or not. Is this thought realistic? Is there any substance or actual evidence that supports or justifies this thought? Or is it my imagination working on autopilot to create negative scenarios? Again, this will not come naturally to you, so you have to practice this daily. But you will find more often than not, your imagination will play tricks on you and create scenarios in your mind that do not actually exist. Although it may not be possible to abolish the negative thoughts completely, it's very possible to reduce the length of time you spend with those negative thoughts. And that's what the aim of the game should be. Not to abolish all the negative thoughts completely, but to reduce the length of time you actually spend with those negative thoughts. As we've already established, breaking free from negative thought cycles can be difficult. We know we have to become aware of our thoughts, and we know we have to challenge our thoughts, but it's also crucial that you begin reframing your thoughts as well. And that's the third step. Let me share some examples of reframing your thoughts. So your original thought might be, I'll never be able to lose weight. You become aware of that thought, you've acknowledged it. So that's step one. You then challenge that thought. Where did this thought come from? Do I actually even believe this thought? What evidence do I have that I won't be able to lose weight? That's step two. Then you have to reframe the thought. For example, weight loss might be challenging, but by setting realistic goals and making one healthier choice at a time, I will make slow but continual progress. And if I stick to this continual progress over a long enough period of time, I will lose weight. So now you've acknowledged your thought, you've challenged it, and then you've reframed it. Now, before I go into another example, hit that subscribe button. So here's another one. Your initial thought might be, I don't deserve to be happy. You've acknowledged the thought, you've now challenged the thought, and then you reframe the thought. So your reframed thought might be, it's my birth-given right to be happy. Everyone deserves to be happy, including me. I won't allow self-doubt or negative thoughts hold me back from pursuing joy, happiness, peace, or fulfillment in my life. There's 2 examples of reframing your thoughts. You have to remember, reframing negative thoughts is not about denying or suppressing the negative. It's actually about recognizing them, acknowledging them, and then working towards transforming them into more positive, empowering thoughts. This process takes practice. This process takes persistence. But if you can master it, it will change your life. The most important thing to remember is that you can break the negative thought cycle. It might seem like an impossible task, especially if you've never done it before. But with practice, patience, and persistence, you'll be able to recognize the thoughts that do not serve you and then consciously begin reducing the length of time you spend with those negative thoughts. That's all I've got for you in this video. If you got some value from it, make sure you hit that subscribe button, check out my previous videos, and I'll see you in the next one.